Hey everyone, welcome to my channel, A Handful of Daisies DIY. If you're new here, I'm Elaine. In this week's video, we're going to be working on bread boxes. I have quite a few in my stash that I picked up at the thrift store quite a while back. And I'm moving to a new booth by the season. So that means I need to get some more stuff ready to go. So in the upcoming weeks, I have some furniture projects that I'm going to be working on. And I'm also getting back started on my travel trailer series. We did get our travel trailer back from the repair shop. Everything's good. So now it's ready for renovation. So that'll be coming soon. So if you're not already subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you don't miss out on any of those videos. So if you're ready, let's get started on those bread boxes. So here's a look at the first one we're going to work on. It's solid wood. It's a really good size. I'm going to be using Dixie Belle duck egg on this one. This is a really popular color in my booth. I have sold a lot of items pretty quickly using this color. I've done a lot of furniture with it. So I'm going to paint the inside and the outside of this bread box. It is pretty old, so it definitely needs a refresh. Now the top was on with nails, so I wasn't able to take that off. So I'm just going to work around it. The Dixie Belle paint is pretty thick, so it should only take one coat for this bread box. I may have to touch up a little bit, but I think it's going to cover pretty well. I did have to keep turning it all around just to get all the spaces. Now I didn't sand this piece. I just scrubbed it down really well to get all of the dirt and grime off. Like I said, I am painting the whole thing, so the inside, the whole outside, including the back and the bottom. I did have to use my spritz bottle a little bit to water down the paint. It was soaking it in on the bottom, so I thinned it out so it would spread a little bit easier. And then I did go back in just a few spots with a second coat. And I used my hairdryer to dry it up, and then I turned it over and did the other side. So I'm going to put a stamp on the circle in the middle. So I'm using two different stamps. One is just kind of a wreath that fits perfectly in that circle, and then I don't know if you can see that or not, it's a little stamp that says live simply, love generously, care deeply, speak kindly, leave the rest to God. I'm going to ink up my stamp really well and then do my best to get it centered. And then press it down, holding it in place so it doesn't shift. And then I'm going to put a lot of pressure on it so the ink adheres really well. And it did come out a little bit light on the one corner, but I think it still turned out pretty well. Like I said, this stamp fit perfectly in this circle. So then I decided it needed a little bit more, so I'm going to wet distress just around the edges to bring a little bit of that wood to come through. And I am going to use my sandpaper a little bit on it as well, because it was a little bit hard to wet distress. The sandpaper just helped it along a little bit. I did just a really light distressing on all of the edges, just to give it a little bit more dimension. And then I decided it needed a little bit more, so I took my marker and just went around the circle. And I think that turned out really well. I'm going to take it outside and spray it with polyacrylic to seal it in. And here's a look at the next bread box. This one is a metal bread box. I did take it outside and spray paint it with black spray paint. And then I'm just going to use this stencil that I've made a long time ago. I did make it with just cardstock. So I'm using this Loctite spray adhesive just to hold the cardstock down since it is on a round surface. And I'm going to use Waverly White chalk paint on this stencil. Just putting it on with the stencil brush. I am dabbing the paint off a little bit because I don't want it to go up underneath the stencil, so it is a fairly dry stencil brush.
If I had 1,000 tongues, I would sing with everyone. Voices like a mountain song.
And the spray adhesive worked really well to hold this down, but I am holding it with my hand a little bit as well, just to make sure. Now it was stuck pretty well with that adhesive, so I'm using just my little tool that I picked up at Dollar Tree to help pull it up. The paint is still wet, so I want to be careful not to smudge it. Then, because this is a stencil, there are a few areas where I'm going to use my little artist brush to touch up. And here's a look at the next box. This is the last one we're going to do. I'm using Dixie Belle paint in Tea Rose. It's a beautiful, like, blush pink. And I'm only going to paint the outside of this one. I'm going to leave the inside the wood. It is a really pretty wood color. So I'm just going to be careful. I'm not going to do the back, so I'm just going to be careful not to get any paint on the back. This bread box did come from Goodwill. It was still a really nice box, really clean, no damage. So I didn't have to do anything except for, of course, I cleaned it up really well before I started painting. Most of the stuff I pick up at Goodwill does need a little repair, so it was nice to find something that didn't need any repair. Let me know in the comments below what you think of this color for the bread box. I know a lot of people don't like painting over the wood, and this was a really pretty wood tone. But these types of items don't sell very well in my booth, leaving them just wood like this, so I do have to paint most of my items. I'm gonna dry this with my hair dryer because I'm impatient. I normally use my hair dryer to dry everything up so I can move to the next step. And I'm going to come back with my artist brush and just touch up a few of the spots I couldn't get with the bigger brush. And I'm going to take my sandpaper and just clean up the edge where I did get a little bit of paint on the inside. And I'm going to stamp this one as well. I'm using this hummingbird stamp, and I use this on a lot of my projects. I love this stamp. So I'm going to ink it up really well and try my best again to get it in the center. Then put a lot of pressure on it to make sure the ink is adhered to all the way around, so I don't have any light spots. Here's a look at how it turned out. I'm gonna also take this one out and spray it with polyacrylic as well, just to seal in all that paint and the ink. Here's another look at how they started out. And here's a look at how they are now. Let me know what you think. Which one's your favorite?
When I wake up in the morning, I got nothing on my mind. Girl, I always wake up early when you're here by my side. It feels good when you hold me, so good I almost cried. It's such a perfect moment to wait for the sunrise. Wake me up at 7, make me feel like heaven.
So what did you think of the bread boxes? Let me know in the comments below which one was your favorite. Would you have done something different to them? Let me know. I love to hear all of your feedback. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you don't miss out on any of the upcoming furniture flips we'll be doing, and also renovating our travel trailer. Thanks so much for spending some time with me today. I hope you enjoyed the video, and have a great week.